What's going on, guys? Welcome to my Battlefield 4 Gun Locker series, where I review and give you an analysis of all the weaponry in Battlefield 4. Today we're going to talk about the support class, LMGs in particular. As some of you know, I took about a week. I devoted entirely to the support class. That's all I played. I wanted to give the support class and their weapons a fair shake. I feel like you have to adapt a little bit to your play to play the class properly and play the weapons properly, so I wanted to give myself time to really do that, adapt myself so I could play them and evaluate them very fairly. Today, we're going to talk about the PKP Pecheneg. I'll make a confession here. I did not plan on reviewing this one right away. I was basically going to grind my way to the M249 SAW through the single player, as well as the MG4 as the last unlock. I wanted to get there, review those first. I had heard really amazing things about those weapons, all the way up to they needed a slight rebalancing. They were almost too good from what I was told. So I wanted to get there and review those for you first. I figured those ones you would want to hear about first. I will get to those. I have, in fact, put a lot of time in with those weapons. But first, I wanted to talk about the Pecheneg because this was the one you unlock along the way. So if any of you were going to take that adventure, I figured I wanted you to be aware of this gun so you didn't miss it and you didn't overlook it, because it really is a phenomenal weapon. If you enjoy watching dead bodies as you shoot them ragdoll at your feet, then this is the gun for you. It has a really unique feel and a personality, which is really kind of refreshing coming from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, where a lot of weapons just kind of feel like reskins, and we know how all the damages are typically the same, especially with like assault rifles and things, where it's just kind of little different traits are very different. But with the PKP Pecheneg, in my opinion, it just feels very unique, and it's a unique experience, and it's just really fun to play, fun to shoot, and on top of all that, it is incredibly effective. So let's get into the analysis. First, as I always do, I'm going to talk about the pros. As I spoke above, much higher damage than the other LMGs at 34 damage maximum, 25 minimum. Keep in mind, that minimum damage is equal to the maximum damage in most of the other LMGs. I believe the only one that is equal to it is the M240B. But this one stacks up in other statistics a little bit better than the 240B. I will get into that when I do review the 240B. The minimum damage, as I said, is equal to the max of the damage of the other LMGs, particularly the M249 and the MG4. Those are kind of its main competition, so I'm going to probably reference them quite a bit. It has a faster reload at 5.5. Both reloaded and empty, which is the fastest reload of the 100-round magazine, 100-round plus magazine size LMGs. Basically, what that means is you're going to reload much faster than any other LMGs. Now, the Ultramax has quicker. I think the RPK might have quicker. The QBB might have quicker. But these are the smaller guns that don't have the big magazine kind of belt-fed, you know, the true LMG experience. So if you're looking for that, this is the quickest reload you're going to have, which is going to lend yourself really well to where I tell you later on to use this weapon. This weapon can chew people up. What do I mean by that? If you have multiple targets coming at you, literally running at you, which you will find that happening quite a bit with an LMG if you play it in the way I tell you to, you are going to chew those people up. There's not going to be any of these where you're shooting the first guy, he's absorbing all your bullets, and the second and third guy kill you because your bullets weren't getting to him. No, no, no. Not with this weapon. He will drop that first guy quickly, chew up the second guy, and get the third guy, because there's just so much damage going out at you, especially in a confined space. Think Operation Locker or inside a building, something like that. You will chew people up. I affectionately call this weapon the Mule because it just kicks so hard. It hits people so hard you literally see them flop over and cartwheel in these things. It's great. It's like I said, it leads to the enjoyment of the weapon. It does have some cons, though. It absolutely does. It is fairly well balanced in that sense. It has a slower fire rate than the other LMGs and a slower muzzle velocity, and it has pretty bad hip fire spread. All of these things lend you to my recommended playstyle, which I'll get to in just a second. If you're looking for a higher fire rate, the M249 and MG4 are the way to go, absolutely. But this obviously is there to balance out the higher damage that the PKP Pecheneg has. I do not feel it really affects its time to kill, though. Again, it has a much higher damage output. Theoretically, you could actually get a 2-bullet kill with the PK Pecheneg. That's how high the damage output is. 1 headshot, 1 regular bullet within 8 meters. 2 bullets, you're dead. That is not a bug that in the system. That is just this thing kicking your teeth in. Now, I have said that I have a recommended usage for you with this gun, and absolutely do. This gun works very well in defensive or stationary play. What do I mean by that? Hold a position, take a position, set up a kill box, and defend that to your last bullet or your last breath. That is the way this gun excels. Basically, like I said, it will chew people up. You have a pretty fast reload, so as waves of people, again, think of Operation Locker or inside a building or defending an MCOM where the enemy has to come to you. They have to. They have no choice. That is where this weapon, and a lot of times LMGs are going to excel. It will chew them up, it will kill multiple enemies, and it's just going to make that route impassable for you. The slower muzzle velocity also lends itself to that, because slower muzzle velocity makes it much more difficult to lead targets who are on the move and on the run. So what you want to do is you want to kind of have it so people are running right at you. If they're running right at you, they're basically running in a straight line. They don't move laterally on you. You will chew them up. As soon as they start running away from you to the sides, it's going to be a little harder to hit. Now, it makes it easy. The high damage makes it easier because you don't have to actually hit them as often. You know, you get one less bullet to kill them pretty much, so you don't have to, if you feel yourself always needing that extra hit marker to take people down, make sure you try the Pecheneg, because you won't need that extra hit marker because this thing's hitting so hard, you'll kill them in fewer bullets. As you can imagine, with all that said, this gun is not very fit for a running gun with that bad hip fire spread I mentioned before. So try to, like I said, play it defensively, play it smart, play it positionally, cover to cover, confined areas. Look for these types of things where you can dig in and just make a monster of a nuisance out of yourself and drive the enemy team crazy. So let's talk about my recommended loadout for this weapon, my recommended attachments. First, we're going to start with the optic. Basically, I'm going to switch it up a little bit here. There's no problem with the RDS sights at all. I do, in this case, with these types of weapons, prefer the holographic sights. The main reason is just for that reticle. The reticle's a little bigger, it's a little more robust, it's a little more pronounced, it's a little easier to see in the craziness that's going to go on. Remember, I told you get in small spaces, hallways, at places where explosions are going to be going off. It sometimes can be hard to pick that little red dot sight out. You want a big sight so you can keep it in the middle of somebody's chest and just mow them down, and that's exactly what a holoscope is, or a holographic optic is going to do for you. So I lean that way on a preference, but again, if your personal preference is RDS, I have no problem with that at all. As for the barrel attachment, if I use anything at all, I go with the suppressor. When you're using it in more of a defensive stationary role, you want to stay off the mini-map, or you're going to face a barrage of any number of the 46 different explosive ammunitions people have to throw at your location. Again, think you're going to be in a room, you're going to be guarding a doorway or a hallway. If you become known, you're on the minimap, people are just going to 320 you, throw grenades, incendiaries, maybe you know, mortar fire if you're outside, that kind of thing. So anytime you can stay off the minimap, that is to your advantage. Even if they know where you are, they don't know precisely where you're positioned. That's always a benefit to you. The loss of muzzle velocity by the suppressor is not a big hit to you. You are stationary again. You're not trying to lead your targets, hitting them running from, you know, down your flanks. You're letting people run right at you, and that's it. Slower bullets isn't going to matter. It's still going to hit them for the same damage, and it's not really going to hamper your accuracy, so don't be afraid to use it there. The underbarrel attachment, I prefer the stubbier potato grip. If you're going to use an LMG, you want to buff what it does well, and that's automatic fire. Now, I don't recommend you use automatic fire all the time, basically, but if you've got multiples coming at you down a confined area, as I've recommended many times over now, you want to be able to open up with them and control that bullet hose, and that stubby grip, potato grip, is going to allow you to do that. As for the accessory attachment, I love the laser light combo. Again, we're talking about confined area, hallways, inside buildings, that type of stuff. That flashlight can be incredibly effective, blinding people, and they're dead before they realize what's going on. It's just a great attachment all around. There's no, no negative to having it. So again, I'm going to go with the laser light combo. In summary, I fell in love with the PK Pecheneg, as I mentioned. I had no plans to really spend much time with this. It was going to be, just use this until I unlock the next one, and on to the next one, on to the next one. But I found even after I unlocked the M249 and the MG4, I actually came back in certain instances. Like I just like the way it hits people. It takes them down. There's no BS. You put the sight on them, it takes them down. Maybe it has something to do with the hit netcode or something. Where with the 249 and MG4, you needed the extra bullet or two. And so that was a little bit more frustrating, where I felt like with the Pecheneg, it was like if I got it on a guy, it hit him, there was no BS about it, and it went down. If played correctly, this weapon can just chew people up and just completely mow down a hallway. And that, I mean, we all know that maniacal laugh you have as you pull the trigger open wide and just destroy the hallway, watch people ragdoll to the ground, and just giggle to yourself. It's a lot of fun. It's got a great personality to it, and I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite weapons overall right now. Certainly one of my top weapons in the LMG and support class. So make sure you use it, check it out, and let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate your support. Let me know what that you're enjoying the series, and don't forget to post in the comments any weapons you might want to see me review next as I work forward. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you soon.